Hey, I'm Rusty.
And I'm Heather.
We're the Bryants with Three Strands Marriage Ministry, and this is the Redeemed Marriage Video Podcast.
We are here to encourage healthy marriages, strengthen wounded marriages, and begin the process of restoration to broken marriages.
We're not licensed counselors, however, we are a redeemed couple that loves the Lord and wants to help you journey through this messy, challenging, and fun part of life called marriage. Hey guys, we're excited to be with you for the very first episode of the Redeemed Marriage Video Podcast. And so we just figured that in order to get this thing started, that you probably just need to know a little bit about us. We kind of shared in our intro video that we put out last week that we're just wanting to share all about marriage and the things that we've learned through our experiences. And we will do that. And we'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, all that kind of stuff. But we thought it would be good that we should at least share a little bit about who we are so people kind of know where we're coming from and why we actually have this passion for being a resource for marriages and just to be able to help marriages. Yeah. So I guess first of all, we've been married for 24 years.
Almost 25.
Big 25's coming up this summer. I'm sure we'll be quarantined and not get to do it.
No.
Who knows? But yeah, so 24 years. We've got two pretty awesome boys. One has just started college and is off at college. The other one is in high school. And so that's pretty much our life. But we got really, really interested in helping marriages because of a crisis that happened in our marriage just a little over 9 years ago.
Yeah. So a little over 9 years ago, I sat down with my husband of then 15 years and told him the hardest thing I have ever said, and I told him that I had had an affair. And hardest words I've ever said, and didn't really know where to go from there. Of course, lots of confusion and lots of sadness and lots of drama that went along with that. But we decided after a very short time that we wanted to fight for our marriage and decided that we would do that together. And that's where we started realizing we didn't know what to do next.
Yeah, so I know for me, completely out of the blue, and we'll tell more and pieces of our story as we go along. That's not the purpose of this episode. We don't want to get into a lot of details, which we probably never will get into a lot of details because that's our story. But the part that we believe will help people, we certainly want to share that. And so really where for me it was so out of the blue, and like I had no idea what to say, no idea what to do. And so I did what anybody would do. I Googled how do I save my marriage? What do I do? And like there's nothing that we couldn't find anything. And what we realized was that there's so many people that are battling similar situations, but it's a secret.
Yeah.
And so for us, I guess the good and bad of it all was that ours was not a secret. Not necessarily by choice at first, but then we realized what a blessing it was that it was all brought into the light. Yeah. And so because of the fact that it was public and it was just out there for everybody, we realized, man, we make the steps and started getting through this, and we were like, man, we could really help people because we couldn't find anyone to really help us. And so that's sort of where this passion came from.
Yeah. And over just the last 9 years, we have met with just countless people who are, because they knew of our story and are going through the same thing or know somebody who's going through the same thing. And it's just everywhere. It's just everywhere. Nobody wants to talk about it, but infidelity is just more places than I think most people realize, and in more homes than most people realize. And so we just decided that because nobody really wanted to talk about it, we would.
Yeah. And so for us, and I know one of the things that we'll continue to talk about through this is just to give resources of what our next steps were. But for us, I mean, we just dove in and we tackled this thing like our lives depended on it, which it really did. And so, you know, from, like Heather said, from very early on, we said we're going to fight for our marriage. And I'm going to tell you, it was not easy ever. It was hard. All of the steps were hard. And quite honestly, 9.5 years later, we still battle some of the things from that. And so marriage is not easy at all. And even along the 9.5 years, as we healed, there were other things that popped up along our marriage that had nothing to do with this. But those experiences have also given us a voice, and just to be able to just share some hope. And like, you know, we put out the intro video last week, and I know that both of us individually were contacted by people. We didn't even say anything about our story last week, but a lot of people know. And so I was contacted by someone. Heather was contacted by someone, and I just remember, as I've been walking and journeying with this friend through the last few days, I told him, I said, you know, even if you never reach out to me or never call me again, like, I just want our marriage to be a picture of hope for you. And so that's really what we want, is that we want people to just be able to look at us and go, man, like, we should not have made it. Like, in the world's eyes, we shouldn't have made it. And we are a living miracle. Our marriage is a miracle. And so, man, that's just what we want people to see, is just if there's some kind of hope that we can give to people when they look at our marriage and go, okay, 9.5 years ago, they never should have made it. They went through all the junk to get to a place that's not perfect. We're not perfect by any means. In fact, we had a little spat today because it still happens.
Still happening.
And so I did something stupid and said something stupid, and
it wasn't all you.
Yeah, most of it. But anyway, and we still battle our marriage. I mean, in our marriage, but man, for people to be able to look at us though and go, hey, they went through the worst of the worst, and, you know, look at where their marriage is now. And so I remember we did lots of counseling. We went to a marriage intensive, which I know we'll talk about that along the way too. But I remember when we signed up for the marriage intensive, they did a little interview over the phone before we ever went. And the question they asked us was, are you willing to let God work a miracle in your marriage? And they really didn't even want us to come if we weren't willing for that to happen. And the crazy thing is that we have some dear friends that are starting that exact same marriage intensive, probably literally right this minute. And I actually texted my friend a few days ago, and I just said those words. I said, please be open to allowing God to work a miracle. And so wherever you are in your journey, that's what our prayer is for you, is that you'll allow God to work a miracle. And, you know, we're not going to just talk about all the bad stuff every time we get on here, because, I mean, marriage is so much fun. I mean, it really is fun. And there's struggles and all kinds of stuff that we all deal with along the way. But in the end of the day, it's a partnership, and it's a companionship that we love, and you should treat it as the most fun thing that you do in your life. So I guess what we really wanted to do with this episode is to just let you know who we are, know a little bit about our backstory, so that you can feel comfortable knowing, you know, we're going to some people that they really have been through some stuff.
And we're a mess.
Yeah, we're a mess.
We're a mess.
We still are.
We're still a mess.
But we also know what it takes to get through some of the toughest times. And so we wanted everybody to know that. But also we want people to know that that we'd love to hear from you. We would love for you, if you need to, for whatever reason, to reach out to us just for some encouragement or for some what should we do next. We're not licensed counselors. I am a licensed minister and have a seminary degree, so we have a little bit of credibility, but that's not even credibility. Our credibility is that we're a picture of hope. I mean, that's the credibility. We've walked through a lot of your shoes, and so that's it. I mean, we're just normal people that went through some things that seem to be very normal to people. And we've come on the other side, and now we just want to be hope. So, how should people get in touch with us?
Comment.
Yeah, that's good. So comment. If so, we're putting this on a YouTube channel, so you can find us, Three Strands Marriage Ministry. Yep. We also have our Facebook page, which is Three Strands MM, which most of you are probably watching this that way, or through our Instagram page. So any of those ways, and you can
message, because message is a little bit private.
Surely you don't want to comment and say, "Hey, that's me, my story too." We understand. So shoot us a message, direct message, or whatever all that stuff's called. I know how to read that.
I don't know a TikTok.
Yeah, do we have that? Okay, we don't have that. We're not that cool. Maybe one day. Maybe we will be. So also you can email us. We have an email that's the number 3strandsmarriage@gmail.com. That's pretty easy. So yeah, we just, like I told my friend, we would love to hear from anyone at any time so that we can help and encourage. And it could be one of those things that, we don't have all the answers, but if we can encourage you and even point you in the right direction, if we can't help, and maybe there's some of you that have some suggestions of how we can help a larger number of people. We're open to anything. We just want to be a resource.
Or things that we could talk about
along
the way.
Definitely. So, I mean, you can comment, in that way and say, hey, I'd love to hear y'all talk about this or that or whatever. So, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we wanted to cover. Did we cover it all?
I think so.
I talked a lot. You didn't talk much.
I didn't talk a lot. It's okay. I will talk a lot later.
The funny thing is that she talks all the time. I don't get to talk much at home. So maybe
I have a camera.
Yes, maybe that's why I'm talking so much. I'm really excited to be able to get my voice out there.
I'll be quiet in the meantime.
But hey, we're looking forward to journeying with you. So please reach out if you have any questions or if we can help in any way. And then until next time, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.